What's good? What's good? We are back. Another episode of the Paul Pickett Podcast. I'm your host, Paul Pickett, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. Got another special guest for y'all. This guy actually has 15 fights under his belt as a pro boxer. He's now transitioned into BKFC. He's a welterweight. He will be fighting at BKFC 61 Saturday, May 11th, 7 p.m. at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncastville, Connecticut, against Rick Hahn. Let's bring him in. Scotty
Yo, what's up?
Scotty Bombs Lampert. How you doing, man?
I'm good. What's going on? There we
So,
go.
so I want to start with some standard questions. What inspired you to become a professional boxer?
Man, I always loved boxing. Like I was always a fighter. When I was a kid, I was getting in fights. It was like one of those stories, like, people, I just fought a lot. People always tell me, oh, you should box, you should box, you should box. And then, I started boxing. I started the amateur boxing thing. And, I started getting good. And, I started winning fights, and I won an amateur title. I did a little bit of amateur MMA, but I'm kind of a short guy for my weight class. I've always, like I've been like a really aggressive fighter. I rarely take a backward step, and when I saw the whole bare knuckle thing, I just got real excited about it because I feel like it suits me, and I don't know, like I said, you start something, you start seeing growth, you get good at it, it makes you want to do it more, and just turned into this thing. And I actually got into boxing. I went pro in boxing so I could do bare knuckle. I was an amateur boxer, and I took a couple years off. And I saw the whole BKFC thing happening, and I was like, man, I want in there. So I actually talked to a guy named Mort Goldsmith. I'm not sure if you know him or not, but he's
I'm familiar.
with the organization. He's a legend. He's like he's in the bare knuckle Hall of Fame. But I said I wanted to fight. He told me that they only take pros, and I said okay, so I'll go have a couple pro boxing matches. And I went and did that, and I actually ended up winning a state championship. I was the cruiserweight champion of Massachusetts, and long story short, I ended up getting into the BKFC, and now I'm doing bare knuckle, and it's like this is what it was all about from the beginning.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what belts those were that you were holding. What belts were those again?
It was the cruiserweight state championship of Massachusetts. I'm the former cruiserweight champion of Massachusetts, but I've dropped weight since then. I was always fighting all these 6'3" guys, 6'4", 6'5". I fought for the ABF heavyweight, yeah, the ABF heavyweight intercontinental Americas championship last year, and the guy was 6'5", number one in Belarus. Like kind of a stupid fight for me to take, but I'm known for that. I'll fight anybody, and now it's like I'm just being a little bit smarter about it. I'm in a more natural weight class for me. I'm going down to 165. My bare knuckle debut, I fought. It was like a catch weight thing at 180, and that's still, he was a big dude. Everybody's a big dude. You're fighting 180, 185, 200 pounds. I'm 5'8". Now I finally get somebody a little bit closer to my size. I feel like I could use my boxing skills a little bit better. I'm not gonna have to bum rush this guy like I do all these giants, and I'm feeling good about it.
So I usually always ask, like, when people deal with losses, how they handle the losses, but it seems like you already knew that you were trying to get into BKFC, so it really didn't matter, right?
Yeah, I mean, losses suck no matter what. Nobody wants to lose. But I mean, I was always in these underdog situations. I fought a ton of undefeated fighters. And, sometimes, I mean, you might call it a money grab because it pays better to fight guys with better records. And I'm a little
Okay.
bit older. I'm 39 now. I went pro at 35, which, not a lot of people do. And it was right
That's
away. It was like
yeah.
there was this urgency. Like I gotta go after it. I don't have time to build my record against easy opponents and come up that way and like one day get some big fight because I've been beating all these B-side guys. I was the B-side guy, and I was okay with it. I want to cause an upset. That was what I was out there doing, fighting undefeated guys, and I pulled off a couple upsets, and like I said, I won a state title, and and again, like you said, it was like this was the plan anyway. I'm trying to do bare
Yeah.
knuckle. I wasn't trying to be the WBO boxing champion of the world. I want to be the BKFC champion of the world.
Now, is that the standard that they've been telling people that y'all got to be pro boxers first? Because I know sometimes cats go through the BKFC prospect series.
Yeah, actually, I think that's the only other way to do it because basically, I think the rule is that unless you're a professional boxer, kickboxer, um, MMA fighter, or Muay Thai fighter, um, you can't fight in the BKFC. They only want professionals fighting. They're not trying to really breed their own pros. I mean, well, actually now they are through the prospect series,
Yeah.
but that's kind of the other way to do it. You start off as an amateur. And go through that way. Obviously, you can't get paid for those fights, and it's not exactly bare knuckle, but it's a very similar rule set. You just have little like MMA gloves. So that's a good way of doing it. But like I said, I was like, you know what, I'm an amateur boxer. I'm gonna be a pro boxer real quick and see what happens with that. And that was my now I'm making well, I made the transition. Now I'm just doing bare knuckle. I think I'm gonna try to finish my career out doing this, but we'll see. You never know.
So, what has the transition been like, though? Is it been easy or hard?
I mean, I don't know. Like for me, I think I don't want to call it easy. There's nothing easy about this sport, but
Yeah. Yeah.
like older guys are coming out of retirement. My opponent is. I don't know if this is why, but I think a lot of guys are thinking that maybe that they can handle the shorter rounds more easily. Like I mean, it's a fast-paced fight. It's designed like
Yeah.
that so
Yeah.
that there's it's an exciting fight. Which is what I love about it. That's my style anyway. I didn't come out here to dance. I want to fight. So like it's a smaller ring. It's exciting that way. But yeah, I think like the shorter rounds. It's like guys want to. Like older guys are coming out because they think it's. Again, I don't want to say that makes it easier, but
Yeah.
for somebody like me that's going 100 miles an hour, like it's better, it made the transition a little bit easier, I guess, because it's like amateur boxing is 2 minute rounds. I went from 2 minute rounds to 3 minute rounds. Now I'm going back to 2 minute rounds, and it allows me to, continue to be aggressive and worry about winning the fight and not worry so much about, making it through the fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We've had somebody that we interviewed before. I forgot who it was. They said with pro boxing, it starts out slow and then speeds up. But with BKFC, it starts out fast and then slows down as you go through the rounds more.
Yeah, I mean,
You
naturally,
agree
I
with
think it
that?
slows down a little bit because guys start
Yeah.
getting a little bit tired. But
Yeah.
again,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, it's designed to start off fast because I mean, just for example, like when they say toe the line, I mean it's because you start in basically the middle of the ring. You got a line, you got a line, you put your toe on the line, and like fight,
Yeah.
otherwise you're starting in the corner. If you're in a regular boxing match,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
come out
Yeah. Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
corner, and then ring control is the whole thing. Like you go and you try to cut the ring off. If you're the aggressor, you want to corral your opponent into the corner. You say, okay, from this post to that post, he's not getting past me. You try to make that area smaller and smaller. Like in this, it's like, it's a small ring. There's not a lot of room to run. And I like that because I'm not trying to run anyway. It just gives my opponent less room to run for me.
That's what's up. So, how much do you know about your opponent? I was looking him up. I seen a fight he had in. I guess he's from Bellator MMA.
Yeah, he fought for Bellator for a while, I think. I don't know like a ton about him. I feel like I know enough. He's a serious fighter. He's no joke. He's a little bit older. Hopefully, uh, hopefully he slowed down a little bit. But I mean, I'm definitely not counting him out. He's a game fighter. He was, as far as I know, he was in the Olympics a while back for judo, I believe. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I think he's
Yeah.
a black belt in judo.
Yeah.
He's a game competitor. But I
He
don't know.
can't
I,
do
I
all that
got
in
power. I got a
BKFC.
shot
Yeah.
against anybody.
Yeah.
What's that?
He can't do all that in BKFC. The
Yeah,
judo.
exactly. I mean, I'm a boxer.
Yeah.
He's a boxer too. He's everything, But I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't like to be too cocky. I don't like I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm a fighter. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I like the matchup. I mean, I don't want an easy fight. I don't want, if I win, I want to get credit for it. But I mean, stylistically, I don't know, maybe I have the advantage. But then again, he's an accomplished grappler. There is a little bit of a grappling aspect to it. I feel
Okay.
like maybe he's gonna be more prone to fighting the clinch than I would, because you know, he, is good at stuff like that, grappling. Maybe you try to isolate an arm. Maybe you try, the half tie plum, all that stuff. I don't know. I'd rather box with the guy, but then again, I mean, I'm short, so I'm powerful. I'm comfortable fighting inside. That's what I normally aim to do. I don't know. It's a good matchup. I mean, for both of us, it's an exciting fight. I think, but with no gloves on, I mean, anything could always happen no matter what. But especially with no gloves
Yeah.
on, we might fight 5 rounds, but it might be a quick one. It doesn't even matter. Sometimes if you're, how good you are, how experienced you are, how whatever. If you bob when you should weave and you get caught, and the fight's over, man.
Does it make it harder to come up with a game plan knowing that you don't really know his style since this is his first match?
You gotta fight your fight. You gotta
Yeah.
I mean, of course it helps to have an idea of what to expect from your opponent,
Uh-huh.
but either way, I'm gonna try to control the fight and do what I want to do. I'm gonna try to have the kind of fight that I want to have. So, I mean, it doesn't really that much. You can't worry about what the other guy's gonna do. You gotta worry about what you're gonna do, and try to stick to the plan. Try to fight your fight, and hope hope you land something big before he does.
What's a typical training day for you look like?
I mean, my cardio has always been my weak point. I've been trying to run. That's always been tough for me too because my knees are kind of bad. I've been in the moving business for a long time. I own a small moving business, and that's been rough on my body. So sometimes I'm limited. I like jumping rope. I love sparring, but you can only spar so much. I don't want to be brain dead when I'm older. You know what I mean? But I like to hit the heavy bag. I like to move around. I like to spar. We work on drills. Like now that it's bare knuckle, you work on certain things, escaping. Like if somebody's trying to fight in the clinch and you're not, you got to try to practice escaping that situation. I work on my footwork. I work on my hand speed. I work on my defense, my head movement. I mean, everything, but obviously when you get a little bit older, things change. Again, you try to do less sparring. I think that's another thing with him. I don't know how much sparring he's doing. I mean, probably a decent amount, I guess. But then again, it's very difficult to spar with no gloves. It's very difficult to get used to fighting with no gloves. He seems like a pretty straight laced guy. He probably has. I don't want to assume too much, but I don't know how many street fights and bar fights this guy's been in. I feel like I got more experience than most people would think. That it's not exactly documented. You know what I mean? So I mean, I'm pretty comfortable fighting with no gloves. And like I said, I was an amateur boxer. Um, I was fighting in school. I was fighting in the bar. I was fighting in jail. I was fighting in the street. I was fighting in the ring. I was fighting in the cage. And I'll be damned if there's going to be some bare knuckle boxing going on without me being in there fighting.
Now, how many fights are you under contract for right now?
I mean, I just right now, I recently signed a 1 year contract with CNC Management. I think I'm supposed to have at least 3 fights this year,
Okay.
maybe 4, but that's pretty much where we're at right now. I've already had one of them, so I guess I could expect a couple more this year, and hopefully, maybe we extend it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I guess it kind of depends on how these go.
I have noticed a lot of the fighters do have a lot of fights spaced out through a long period of time sometimes because there's what 200 something fighters I think at BKFC if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of fighters. They do have a lot of events, though. So guys can stay pretty active, and I'm a pretty active fighter. I mean, these fights I've had. Well, you mentioned I had 15 pro fights. That was actually like within the last 3 years.
Okay,
I average 5 fights a year, which is that's kind of a
that's pretty
lot.
good. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
a
That's a
lot of
lot.
guys
Yeah.
joke at the one of the gyms I go to that Scotty's like the most active. These guys fighting every weekend. It's like they tell me to spar more, but it's like, why don't you fight more? you know, you know, I stay ready because I've been fighting all the time. But Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, man. Again, you never really know, but I wanna stay active. There is a lot of fighters, but stuff happens, man. You never know. Guys get hurt training all the time. Guys get hurt fighting, and you always got to stay ready because you can get a call and all of a sudden they want you to fight. I was asked to fight in Virginia in April. Um, all of a sudden because somebody was injured, they wanted to put me on that card like out of nowhere, but. I wasn't. I was trying to drop a weight class, and that was to go up a weight class. I just wasn't anywhere near big enough to fight at 205. I mean, I was going down to 165, and I guess I don't know. They didn't realize how serious I was about that. Actually, I've said 175 at first, but I decided I'm going to keep going with it. But that's where we're at now.
So you're in the welterweight division. That's Austin Trout's division,
Hmm.
correct?
Yeah, I believe so. Um, I was again. I fought at 180 last time. You can fight at 175, or you can fight up to 185. It was a catch weight. We agreed on 180 pounds last time, but again, um, I think it's smarter for me to be more disciplined. And I mean, I work out. I try to get big and strong for what, like I'm a boxer. You fight bigger, stronger guys. It doesn't
Yeah.
really make sense. You got to act like you're in the sport you're in. So I'm getting lean and mean, and I'm picking up some speed. And I think 165 is going to be where I'm at. I think that's where I'm going to do well.
So you're not looking into like doing two weight classes like a lot of these cats.
I mean, I'm open to it.
Okay.
You know, if like, dude, I don't know if it pays, I'm in there. You know what I mean? Like I
You
said, I'll
seem
fight
like you just
anybody.
want to fight. Yeah, you just want to
Yeah,
fight.
my old manager used to tell me like it's easier to get you fights in the cruiserweight division, so we should just do that. And I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. But it's like, yeah, it's easier to get because everyone wants to fight the little guy. But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
again, I was a little guy. I was 5'8". I was fighting guys up to 200 pounds. Some of them weren't even making weight. I was still fighting them, and I ended up the cruiserweight champion of Massachusetts. And these guys were up to 200 pounds, and I was walking around at 190, fighting at 185 because I was in shape. Because I'm a better fighter at that weight anyway. So I was 15 pounds below the limit of the weight class and the champion. So it's not all about how much you weigh.
So how many years you think you got left in this?
I don't know, man. I hope a lot. Like
I mean,
right
there's
now, I'm
some
feeling
guys
pretty
fighting
good.
to their 40s, right?
Yeah, well, when you're 40 years old, most states' athletic commissions want to do a lot of extra tests, and they all of a sudden it costs more money for the promoters to, put you through all these, tell you need extra, the MRIs and the EKGs
Oh,
and the
okay.
CAT scans and all this stuff. So a lot of guys retire around 40, and I feel like that's part of the reason why I had a 1 year contract. I just signed a 1 year deal because we're going to revisit, all this when I am 40. I'm 39 now, so it just made sense. Maybe I'll retire after this year. If I'm doing well, I could definitely see myself sticking around a little bit longer. I'll just hope for the best.
What's your ultimate goal in BKFC right now?
I mean, I feel like I got the same goal as pretty much everybody, man. I mean, I feel like, I mean, 90% of the guys you ask that question,
They just want to win the belt.
they want the belt. They want to be the
Yeah.
champ. Listen, nobody wants to do this to just, I mean, people want to make money. People want to, there's all kinds of reasons you want to do it. But like the ultimate goal has got to be the belt. You shouldn't be in here, man. If you don't think you can, be the best, why compete at all? Like I want to be the champion. I don't know if this is the weight class that I'm picking for sure, but I don't know. I'm about to go test it out. It might be where I stick around. It might be where I do well. It might be, who knows? But yeah, I want to keep fighting. I want to keep winning. I want a title shot, and I want to win.
Yeah, I definitely my time watching BKFC, it does feel like there's a few cats in there that's dodging a few people.
Yeah, for sure. But it's so stupid. I mean, I get it in a way. Like because people hesitate and
I
they
get
don't
it. I
believe in
get it.
themselves. But what are you
Yeah.
even here for? If you just want to look cool on Facebook and you want to make some money, I get that too. That's not the worst thing in the world. But like, I mean, again, this is a competitive thing. This is a guys that fight for a living. Like, we're alphas. And I hate even talking like that because there's no such thing as alphas. It's the alpha. You know,
Yeah.
I'm the alpha. I'm not an
Yeah.
alpha. You know what I mean? I'm here
Yeah.
to prove that I'm the man. You know, I lost my last fight. That day I wasn't the man, but I'm planning on kicking some ass on my next fight. I'm gonna kick some ass the one after that. You know, I don't know, man. If you don't want to be the champ, I don't know what the fuck you're doing out here, bro. You should fucking go. I don't know, play something else. I don't know, different fucking
What
sport. You don't play boxing. You don't play bare knuckle. You know, you should go play a game. You know, this is a sport, but it's not a game. It's a fight.
So I'm guessing you don't like the politics around when they like pat fights when like I've seen where they basically give a fighter fights that they know that he's gonna win because they
It
really
happens
want to
all the
keep it. They
time.
want to
That's I
keep
mean,
his name
especially in
hot
boxing.
and
Boxing is like
keep
the
him
worst.
undefeated and whatnot.
Yeah, it happens all the time. I mean, there's always an agenda. Anytime there's money involved, there's going to be people trying to control the outcome of what goes on.
Yeah,
So they're going to stack the deck in whoever's in their guy's favor. They're going to pick guys that they think that they could beat. You know, honestly, I mean, you know, I've gotten a lot of fights because people thought because I was the little guy in the weight class, because I was the short guy. They were looking for a B side. They want their guy to win. So in a way, being shorter, being older, you know, having these disadvantages has been an advantage to me because it's given me opportunities. You know, people weren't too afraid to fight me, and so they gave me a chance. And again, a couple times I surprised people. I surprised my opponent. I knocked somebody out, and you know, I don't know. A lot of people might have said that I didn't even deserve a shot at a state championship or whatever, but like, you know, they tried to pick an easy opponent, and I knocked the dude out, and then now I'm
and
the
that's what they
champion.
got.
So,
Yeah, that's what they
yeah,
got. Yeah,
you know, so you got to be careful. You know, a lot of times it's the no-name guys you got to worry about. You know, like we're hungry. You know, I'm not in here to just to fight. I'm in here to win. I'm not gonna go in there and just try to survive. I'm gonna go in there and try to win the fight. And you might think you have every advantage over me, but I don't know, man. I got hands too. You know, like I hit pretty hard. You never know. Nothing's guaranteed. And again, this is they talk about a game of inches. This is a game of like millimeters. You know, you slip a punch, you counter and win, or you don't slip a punch and you get dropped and you lose. You know, sometimes you don't even remember what happened. You know, it's just the fight's over. You lost, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't go back in time. You're like, oh, but I should have done. I would have done that. Like, you didn't, bro. You got hit. That's what happened. You know.
that's what's up. How big do you think BKFC can be?
I think it's going to be huge, man. It's growing and growing, and I believe in it, man. I'm so excited to be a part of it. It's so cool. It's surreal to me. You know, like I said, especially when you accomplish a long term goal, it's exciting. And I was like trying to do this for a while, and now I'm here, so it's very satisfying. But like, um, I'm really excited about it because I really do believe it's going to be the biggest thing. If you say right now, like, oh, I'm in the UFC, people are like very impressed by that. Like,
Yeah,
you know, already people are impressed that I'm fighting in the BKFC, but years down the line when it's really big, it's like, you know, people are gonna be like, oh yeah, Scott fought in the BKFC. Like, no, he didn't. People, no way. But yeah, I did. You know, it is a major accomplishment, and I think it's going to keep growing. It's going to be, it should be huge. It's an awesome sport. It's an awesome idea. It's awesome people that run it. They're doing a great job. With everything as far as I can tell you. I mean, I showed up, and I mean, I'm nobody really yet, but they made me feel like a star as soon as I got there, and they gave me an opportunity, and you know, they mix in guys that, you know, like people don't expect too much from, with these guys, these superstars from the UFC and whatever, and you know, anything could happen, man. You know, like they give people chances and, you know, opportunities, and you know, we're trying to capitalize on them. That's what I'm here for, and I appreciate the hell out of it. So
yeah.
I think it's a great thing.
I don't personally know David Feldman or what's it, Nelson Lopez Jr., but
Yep.
I've heard nothing but good things about them. I know Josh Chassis. You know Josh Chassis?
I'm not sure if I know Josh. I've met David.
I think he works on the entertainment side of things and whatnot. But you know, he got us some interviews, like our first interviews when I was producing a Circle of Kings, and me and the guy with that, we kind of had some differences because we went our separate ways. He actually does the
Yeah,
Knuckletown official now.
yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with Knuckletown rankings and all that.
No, not really.
Yeah, they actually do some rankings on BKFC as well, and then BKFC got their own rankings, and then somebody else got
Yeah.
their rankings as well. That's
Oh, okay.
another thing. There's so many different rankings. It's like it's always hard to decide, you know, who's
Yeah,
ranked what where, you know.
yeah. What's legit and what means something, what means what. Yeah, I don't really know. But I mean, as far as like the guys you just mentioned, like David Feldman and Nelson too.
Nelson, yeah.
I know him, and he's a great guy. David's a great guy. Like that's why I'm excited to be a part of this because it's like it feels like they're pretty fair with the guys, and like I was excited that they're having me back. I lost my first fight, and like I'm so much better than that performance, and like I was like, damn, I like blew my chance. Like I could have been kicking everyone's ass, and I just like I don't know, it wasn't my night, and like I didn't feel good. I maybe to be honest, maybe I let the nerves get to me a little bit. I was so excited. I was too excited, and I was just like you know going too fast. I was rushing everything. I was just wanted to like fight too bad, and I wasn't thinking straight. I didn't have my footwork together. I was kind of off balance, and I went down a couple times. There weren't even knocked. I mean, there was like probably two legit knockdowns, but like I was also just getting pushed over a little bit, and like I didn't really have my legs under me, and I just felt like it wasn't a great performance. And like I was upset about it, and I thought like I might have blown my opportunity, but I think that they see the fighter inside of me, and they know that I want to fight. I didn't want that fight stopped. I would have kept going, and like and I'm coming back stronger and like in better shape and faster. And I feel like I'm going to do well. And but I'm lucky that they're cool and they're like, they're giving me another chance. So I don't want to waste it. I'm going to come in there, drop some freaking bombs.
What'd you think about the news they announced about Conor McGregor becoming a BKFC partner?
I think it's cool. I'm a
Yeah.
fan. I've always been a fan of McGregor. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think it's awesome. I was excited to hear about it. Actually, I'm like, I keep asking everyone, like, yo, you think he's gonna be at BKFC 61? Because, like, I'd love to meet him. You know what I mean? I feel like I might have an opportunity, but I don't know. I'm not sure if he's gonna be there. I hope he is. But I think it's really cool. Like, he's a cool guy. He's a fighter. He understands fighters. I believe. Well, David Feldman is too. I think that he understands fighters as well. So that's why it's a good organization. But I think that Connor will even bring more to that, and hopefully it will help fighters in the long run. Fighters getting paid, and just it'll help the organization just be more exciting. Everybody loves Conor McGregor. He's a hot ticket. You know what I mean? So it can't hurt.
Yeah, and J.R. Ridge thinks that David Feldman's going to try to get him at least fight one fight, in the BKFC. And if he does, I think it'd be huge for the sport, because the eyeballs would be on it.
Yeah, I think he would. I think he's gonna fight. It would be huge. It would be
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, I'll
I don't
fight
know
him.
who they're gonna have him fight. Yeah, hey,
I love the guy. I'm a big fan, but like, who wouldn't want to fight him? Like that'd be a huge honor. I think it'd be awesome. But yeah, I'm excited about it. That's badass. That's awesome.
well, look, man, I'm about to wrap this one up. I gotta head out and go to the store. Anything you want to shout out before we go?
I don't know. I guess let me shout out a couple people real quick. Like shout out Champs Boxing Gym, in Danbury. I shout out my guys over at USA Karate, John Carlo Boxing. Just a bunch of guys that I train with. I appreciate you guys. I got a couple of my guys working my corner. Zach and Joe, Zach Warner, Joseph Parker. They're going to be in my corner with me at Mohegan Sun. We're bringing the thunder. I don't know. There's a million people I could thank for like a million things and all that. I'll wait until after I win the fight and they give me the mic. But Caitlin Ball, one more. All right, her too.
Well, I definitely want to thank you for reaching out for the interview. You know what I'm saying? And whatnot, because I definitely need to do more BKFC interviews under my belt.
Yeah,
Anything you
yeah. I
want to
saw that
say
you
to
interviewed Zach Shark
yeah,
Attack
Zach?
Galvin. I saw a couple things and I was like, oh, all right, yeah, hell yeah, I'm in there, man. Anything I could do to try to promote myself, get my name out there, and let people know I'm looking for sponsors, I'm looking for fans. Like, let's do this, man. I'm ready to
Yeah,
fight. I'm ready to put on a show for you people. Let's do it.
I'm definitely gonna chop up, clips like I did for Zach and JR and throw them out there for you, tag you in them. Anything you want to say to Rick Hahn? I think he go by what's he go by? The Gang Jengus? Rick Jengus?
Genghis Khan, I guess.
Well, It's really Jenga. It's really Jenga.
Oh, is it Jengis? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. No, not particularly. I mean, much respect. Look forward to sharing the ring with you. It's an honor. Nothing against you, but I mean, we'll be friends afterwards. But in between bells, you know what it is. Straight
I've
business,
noticed
man.
that,
I'm
like
looking forward to it.
a lot of friendships afterwards. I seen
Yeah,
who
Matt.
was it?
People got mountains of respect for each other. I definitely have a lot of respect for him, but we just can't be friends with in between bells. That's all.
Yeah, I saw somebody. I forgot who it was. Knocked somebody out and was over there, like helping them out instantly.
Yeah.
Who's my man that does the ringside announcement? I can't think of his name right now.
Are you talking about a ringside announcement? Is he
The former
um
MMA cat. I can't believe I can't think of his name right now. Chris Lights Out Lotto. Chris Lights Out Lotto. Yeah.
oh yeah. He's a great guy too. He's real cool. I've
Yeah,
met
he's
him.
great. Yeah, he's great. Great guy, man.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the sport, man. People, it's people have a lot of respect for each other because we know what goes into it. We know how hard it is to train for this stuff. We know how much nerve it takes to go out there and get in that ring and expose yourself like that and just let it all hang out in front of the whole world. I got respect for anybody that gets in that ring. I got even more respect for them if they get in that ring with me. So like I'm looking forward to the fight. Rick Horn, good luck. I'll see you there, buddy. Everybody else, thanks for coming out to the show. Everybody come out. If anybody needs tickets, hit me up. Let me know. I still got some tickets and geez, I don't know. Win, lose, or draw. It's gonna be a party. We're gonna have a great time. Come on out.
well, you a friend of the show now, so I'm gonna definitely make sure I follow you on all your socials.
Oh, for sure.
Stay
Same here.
stay in tune to what you got going on. Anytime you want to come back on, please do. Let cats know Paul Pickett Podcast. We definitely doing BKFC interviews over here. I mean, we done produced a lot with the Circle of Kings as well. And I appreciate you coming on, man.
I appreciate you
Scotty
having me, man.
Bombs Lampert, man.
That's right,
Check
bro. By
him
the way,
out,
real
man.
quick, just so you know,
Go
they
ahead.
call me Bombs because I drop bombs on fools, but it's not just that. I inherited that nickname from Johnny Bombs Carlo. He's mostly known for knocking out Leon Spinks back in the day, who
Oh,
won his
okay.
title from Muhammad Ali. But that's the guy that trained me. I've also had a bunch of other great trainers since then, but I still definitely represent Johnny Bombs Carlo boxing to the fullest. And we got hopefully he can come out to the show. I got some of his guys working my corner. We're gonna cause a scene out there. It's gonna be a good time.
Well, make sure y'all tune in. BKFC 61 in Uncasville, Connecticut, Mohegan Sun Arena. Scotty Bombs Lampert. Appreciate you coming on, my brother.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right, peace. Well, you heard it. Scotty Bombs Lampert about to be fighting at BKFC 61. And definitely stay tuned for that. It's gonna be really, really great. His opponent is actually fighting his very, very first pro fight in BKFC from Bellator MMA. It's gonna be very, very interesting. Once again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Paul Pickett Podcast, and we out. Peace.
I